Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Stephen here, and today we're doing a preview. Yep, previews are actually back, and football's actually back, and guests are actually back, and who better to start with Robbie from AFTV? Well, Robbie, how you doing, man? You all good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just like you, glad that football's coming back. It's been so long. It's almost like we've forgotten it. You know what? I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that this is still the same season.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
You forget. So yeah, it's been a long break. Of course, this is the game that we were supposed to play just before the break when it all kicked off. First of all, I remember I was actually up in Manchester the night. And I woke up in the morning to find out that the game had been cancelled.
It feels like years ago, doesn't it? It feels like years ago.
Yeah. So it's unbelievable. And then, of course, a couple of days later, Arteta had the coronavirus, and that was it. All football got cancelled. So sort of Arsenal's sort of that team. I think it's fitting that we're the first team back because we're kind of like the team that was like led to the whole thing just getting shut down. So it's been crazy.
It's been a weird time. It's quite nice chatting about football again, though, with someone like just another person chatting about football. It's kind of good. How have you been handling everything? Have you been all right personally and stuff? It's been a weird world, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a rough period. I lost my father, not to coronavirus, but I lost my father.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man. So sorry.
Yeah, it was one of those. He was 93, so he had a good innings, so that was good. And but like the funeral was weird. Only 10 people at the funeral and that, and he was a very popular guy. So, and then apart from that, I've just been sorry. Yeah, it was a sad time, and apart from that, I've just been working really, really hard. We've still been doing a lot of content. I've sort of concentrated on just trying to speak to fans and let fans have their say on various things. As usual, there's been about 1 million players linked with Arsenal. We've had all the shenanigans of is Aubameyang going to stay or not, and so it has been a lot of talking points around Arsenal. But nothing beats having the real thing back. It's not just all speculation and rumours, stuff like that. I can't wait for the football to start back.
So on that note, how's Arsenal's preparations been from a City fan perspective? It looks like City haven't really played any friendlies. They kept it really quiet. It's been very low key. I have noticed just from following you guys on Twitter that Arsenal have been playing some games, haven't they? How's it been going so far?
Yeah, mixed, because they played 2 games behind closed doors. The first game they played was against Charlton for the Championship. They won that 6-0. Nice. Aubameyang scored, Lacazette scored, Eddie Nketiah scored a hat-trick, and everybody was like, yeah, this is good, we're looking in great shape. Then the very next friendly, we brought right back down to earth. We got beat 3-2 by Brentford, and in a game that we were kind of cruising, and we lost that game. But I think the worrying thing about the game was that the way in which we lost it, kind of cruising the game, and then in the last 20 minutes, all 3 goals are like individual errors. So, I mean, I look on it and I think it was a good thing, because I think some of that confidence that people are getting carried away with the 6-0, I was like, it's a friendly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never ever judge. Even if you lose 6-0 on a friendly, it doesn't mean nothing really. But in a way, it was the manner of those goals. I reckon Mikel Arteta will be saying to the Arsenal players, listen, you do any mistakes like that against City, you're going to get punished, because that's what they're brilliant at. You know what I mean? Yeah. Punishing mistakes. So, hopefully that will focus the mind ahead of that game, which is a huge game for us. Means a lot to us. We're still trying to chase down the possibility of top 4.
Is it how many points? Is it like 7-8 points, something like that? From last time I checked, was it 8
yeah,
points?
We're quite a few points off, but I think a lot of teams are holding out the hope that possibly City's ban is. But if that, the thing is about it, right, is that if the ban is upheld, or even let's just say they might even do like what they did to Chelsea, what they might say, all right, you get a year ban with a year suspended or something. That would still open up the door for 5th place as well, which that is definitely doable. So I think all Arsenal fans want to see Arsenal finish the season off strongly, because it's been a really poor season for this football club. It really has. I mean, 3 managers in one season. I mean, that's unheard of.
On that note, so I mean, I guess the elephant in the room is Arteta. You know, Arteta's the big link here at the moment. I think he's had a pretty good start. You know, he was popular at Manchester City. The players liked him at City. Fans were sad to see him go. And from an outsider's perspective, looking in, I feel like Arsenal are improving under him. Is that a shared view amongst the fans and for yourself?
Yeah, he's done well since he's come in. I mean, you know, in this year, we actually, up until the lockdown, we were the sort of informed team. We hadn't lost a game in 2020. We'd won our last 3 games. You know, it was looking good. You know, he started off with quite a few draws, but I think we had a loss to Chelsea, which that was a very tight game. But then since the start of the year, he's really been getting it together. You know, and there's I think all Arsenal fans realise that there's still a lot of problems with the actual squad. You know, I mean, there's a lot of areas that still need improving. The defence, centre, midfield as well. But we're stepping in the right direction with Arteta. And what I've liked about him since he's come in is that he's getting the best out of every player there. So you've seen players that are like, I look at somebody like Mustafi, who's been figuring a lot at the back. I mean, I think before Arteta turned up, everybody would be like driving him to the airport or to the station to get rid of him. They thought he's absolutely useless. Arteta's coming in. He's actually been our best defender. He's really got the best out of him. And that's all you can do when you come in. The first thing you've got to do until you get your players in is you've got to get the best out of what you've got there. And I think he's doing that. So a lot of encouraging signs.
That just reminds me of Guardiola. I mean, people like talk about Guardiola spending money, which is true, but people often forget that how good a coach Guardiola is. As a pure coach, he does improve players. Like he does. I mean, Otamendi was seen as a bit of a liability when Guardiola joined. In 17-18, he was astonishing for Manchester City. He turned him into a really composed defender, and you see the Mustafi transformation. It reminds me a little bit of that. Now, Otamendi has regressed a bit since then, but he did improve him for a while, and most of the Manchester City players have improved under Guardiola. So there is that element to Arteta. He does seem to be the kind of person, as we were saying on the video for your channel, which go and check out after this, by the way. Arteta does seem to have that link, doesn't he, to the players of this generation because his age is good age and all that kind of stuff. But I guess the question now really is how you'll do in the transfer market. And obviously there's been a few rumblings as well, hasn't it? What do you think about Aubameyang's future as well?
Yeah, well, that's the same old problem that we always have at Arsenal. You know what I mean? Is that, you
can't lose him. That'd be a huge blow, wouldn't it? He's such a good player.
Yeah, we can't afford to lose Aubameyang. But it's a possibility that he could go. You know, he's getting a bit older now. He's 31 this month. But he's a prolific goal scorer, and he doesn't play like a 31-year-old. He plays like he's about 25. He's still lightning quick. He's a brilliant finisher, and a priority for Arteta really has to be to try and hold on to him. But yeah, listen, he's going to need players in the summer, but of course with this whole COVID-19 situation, you know, Arsenal players have had to take a pay cut and stuff like that. Is there going to be a lot of money to spend? So he may have to continue to get the best out of what he's got. We've also got a lot of players that are on very high wages that are going to be hard to shift off of the wage bill until their contracts run out. And there's quite a few of them, but they run out at the end of next season. So he's going to have to kind of, for now, work with what he's got. But I've been encouraged by what he's done so far. And as I said, obviously an ex-Arsenal player as well. Yeah. So he knows what Arsenal's all about. He's come in and he's really has made the right noises. He's even on the transfer situations. He's like, if I have to persuade people, you know, like beg them to stay, then maybe they need to go. So that could even apply to Arteta.
That's a very Guardiola thing as well. That Guardiola like signing, like he's like, if you're not going to sign a contract, we'll let you go, kind of thing. But
yeah, so you know, I mean, hopefully he can bring a lot of what he was doing at City and a lot of the learnings that he's had off of Guardiola to Arsenal, you know. But it's going to be a process.
He's been good with the youth players as well, hasn't he? That's one thing because I always watch a lot of Manchester City's academy stuff, so I have a keen interest in that side because I just find it fascinating when you get somebody you can connect to who's a fan of the club. Like, it's been good, hasn't he, on the youth players on that front? And is that one of the unexpected positives that you've had so far from his reign?
Yeah, I mean, one of the positives, full stop, this season for Arsenal has been the emergence of some young players, academy players that have come through. Like Saka has been
player,
you know. Joe Willock has done really well. Has been good in the friendlies as well. And then, of course, you've got players like Martinelli, who he hasn't come through the youth system, but we bought him. Nobody knew really who he was.
He's on the third tier, wasn't he, of Brazilian football? Is that right?
Yeah.
Mad that.
And he's come in and he's looked brilliant, you know. So there's a lot of people saying that he should be starting. So he's done very well with the young players. That's been one of the plus points so far this season, has been the emergence of the young player. And I think we're going to have to, you know, focus on those young players. Arteta seems to like Eddie Nketiah since he's come in as well. Very young striker who's, you know, got an eye for a goal as well. So I think he's going to be using a lot of those youngsters from now till the end of the season. He really just seems to put a lot of faith in them.
How do you feel about the preparations? And it's obviously at the friendlies. Do you feel like this is a good time to play Manchester City, really? What's the perspective from the Arsenal fans on that side? And are you feeling confident about the game?
I think so. I mean, there's a lot of Arsenal fans who are saying, oh, this is the best time to play him. Did you see the pictures of De Bruyne? He looked like he's put weight on. Maybe they've slacked off. And I've just been reminding a lot of fans when I'm doing my things, I'm saying, listen, it's Guardiola. And that guy is like, he's always prepares his teams, you know. So don't expect nothing less than that.
Yeah.
But then every team is going to be affected by this break. And every team, you know, it's going to be who hits the ground running the quickest. And also, I think fitness is going to be a key to how teams perform, you know, because you've seen that, you know. So, I don't know, it could be a good time to play City. Of course, there's going to be no fans at the game as well. So
no jokes.
I'm not making it. A lot of people have made jokes about it, but I'm not making. Listen,
no, you're not.
I'm there at City games, right? And I know that's a very hostile game when we play them, right? I don't know about other games, but
we've had some great games at the Etihad against you.
Yeah. So I feel that, you know, that's a bit of an advantage to us. The fact that there's no fans there, that's going to help us, right? And we've seen, like, in the Bundesliga, that the lack of crowds has kind of leveled things up a bit. So, and we could do with all the help we could get, because we've got such a terrible record, especially against City away. You know what I mean? So, you know, and, you know, we're going to have to really, really up our game. I mean, I found, like, when we lost to you guys at the Emirates just before Christmas, that was a humiliating defeat to me.
It was the De Bruyne masterclass, wasn't it?
It was so easy. And it was almost like in the second half that, like, you guys said, you know what, let's just not get injured. You just took your foot off the pedal, really. You could have won it by more. It was really, really poor. But I just got a feeling that, I'm not saying we're going to win or anything, but I think we're going to give you a bigger test than
I'd expect so as
that game, you know, before Christmas, because that was a game when we were really at the end. You know, I mean, we were down on our luck. We were feeling sorry for ourselves, and it was the worst time to face Manchester City. But maybe this time, maybe a few little circumstances thrown in might aid us to, you know, get something out of it.
Prediction then, go on. I'll throw you the prediction.
Prediction. I'm gonna go for an optimistic draw, right? Because I can't see us winning the game, if I'm being honest. But if we could go up there, you know, it's like you said, different circumstances, no fans, 5 substitutes. You know, if we can go up there, Mikel Arteta going back, he's going to be pumped. He's going to be driven.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, all eyes are on that game. So all the players are going to know that. All eyes are, it's the sort of the first big game of the restart. So I fancy that Arsenal going to put a performance in. Whether it would be good enough, I think if it's our best, it could be good enough for a draw. And we have seen City, you know, City have lost some games this season. It's not been the all-invincible sort of City that we saw last year and the year before. I mean, they've been vulnerable. We, you know, lost to teams like Norwich. Man United beat you just before the break. I mean, we beat
3 times this season, United.
Yeah, we beat United and drew with them at Old Trafford and beat them very easily at the Emirates. So there's hope. But, you know, I think a lot of it as well is going to be how the players mentally, Arsenal, we seem to, every time we come up against you guys recently, it's like we've been a bit scared. And I really hope that's one of the things that Arteta can really change, is that mentality in going into face City. And you never know, maybe you might know a few little things he can tell us.
Oh, I know a few things or two. It's going to be interesting.
They're all pretty obvious. I mean, you know what's coming. I
mean, yeah, no one knows better than him. It's going to be interesting. It's just nice to be talking about football again, in terms of the games and all that kind of stuff. Robbie, thanks for coming on the channel, man. It's been a pleasure having you. There's a video of myself talking on AFTV as well. Of course, you all know about AFTV. If you haven't already subscribed, just go and do that. It's literally the #1 YouTube football channel, so go and subscribe to that. Robbie, if you want to have a chat after the game as well, let me know as well. But for now,
no, definitely. Let's look. Well, I don't know, man. If we get back to, you might not hear from me for about a couple of months. But yeah, no, let's definitely.
Well, hear from you then.
We definitely catch up.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure, man. Good to see you again, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and we'll see you very soon for another video in a bit.